V-Ray Vision is Chaos's real-time rasterized viewer, and it comes with V-Ray 5 for Rhino. With it, you can explore your scenes on the go, create quick previews and animations, and much more. Now we will explore some of the possibilities that Vision gives us. Let's start by setting up a generic gray material for an override and turn V-Ray Vision on. Now that our scene is loaded into Vision, we can see that everything is shaded with our basic gray material. If we move our scene in Rhino, everything updates accordingly in Vision. We can orbit our model, pan and zoom, and switch through different views. If we tweak the exposure value in the camera rollout in V-Ray's render settings, the exposure in Vision will update as well. If we can't get the exposure quite right, V-Ray can do the job for us. Simply click on the little sun icon in Vision to turn on auto exposure, and you will always get a perfectly exposed image. Now, let's turn override off so we can see our actual shaders. Vision will take a moment to load all the shaders. A big strength of Vision is that we can edit our model and see changes rendered in real time. Let's open Chaos Cosmos and place some assets in the scene. Go through the categories in Cosmos Browser and find Vegetation. Then import an object with the Import button and close the browser. As you can see, the tree appears immediately in Vision. Now we can move them in Rhino, rotate them, scale them, and see how they look rendered out. This makes it really fast to set and tweak our environment. I've already prepared some vegetation and assets for this scene, so I will delete this tree and unhide what I've set up in advance. Now, we can continue exploring. Let's move over to Vision and see what we can tweak directly. Click on the gear wheel icon and we'll see the first set of options. This will determine the quality of our image and adjust the performance. Every Cosmos asset has levels of detail stored in it, also known as LODs. There is a basic version of each Cosmos asset, a medium detailed version, and a realistic version, and they can help us have a more interactive experience. Next, we can adjust shadow quality, which will determine the level of detail when calculating shadows. If we choose low quality shadows, Vision uses a lower filtering setting for the shadows, and the shadow map is downscaled while we interact with our project, giving us better responsiveness. Medium shadow quality uses better filtering, but still has some optimizations. The high setting gives us the best filtering setting for shadows, and it can also simulate soft shadows by taking into account the sun size parameter. Last but not least, check High Quality Cosmos Assets. To see the difference that this makes, we need to reset the live link between Rhino and Vision. When high quality Cosmos assets are switched off, Vision will use the medium LOD for every asset that is close to the viewer and replace the assets that are further away with the lowest LOD. This way, we have a more responsive experience. When we turn high-quality Cosmos assets on, every Cosmos asset will be represented by its highest LOD. Just click on the Render button in the Asset Editor to break the link and click on Vision's icon from the toolbar to sync things again. Check out the leaves on the trees. Ones that are closer to the camera have a lot more detail now, and they look much nicer. Next are exposure controls, which we can adjust separately from V-Ray's EV if we want to quickly explore some different scenarios. After that are the navigation controls. We can orbit, pan, and zoom, but Vision comes with one additional option: Fly Mode. Enable this by ticking the checkbox or using the Tab key on your keyboard. Then adjust the speed controls so that we move slowly through our scene. Now we can move around our scene and explore the space from different angles, just like in a game, with the difference that we can fly up and down. Okay, let's hit C to reset the camera position. This returns Vision to the initial camera. On the right, we have color corrections, which gives us the option to use sRGB color space. And if we want, we can apply an ACES curve for a more contrasting look out of the box, and also adjust exposure, contrast, saturation, and more on the go. When we are happy with the adjustments, we can always export them for later use when we reopen the scene or share it with other people. The last icon is where save and export settings are. Let's open them and see what we have. To save a shot from Vision, first we need to select a folder and a name for the image. After that, we can choose the image format. For this case, the default PNG works great. The next option is whether we want to save exactly what we see from the Vision window, or if we would like to use the project's resolution, which is set in V-Ray's render settings. For this one, I will use the default option from Vision window. If we need to export a larger image, we can simply dial in scale for our render. Now all we need to do is click Export, and the image is saved. Still images have their use, but sometimes we need to create whole animations. Vision can help us with this, and it's quick and easy. To set this up, let's break the live link between Rhino and Vision again. In V-Ray's render settings, enable animation. This was set up with the default Rhino tools in advance. Now when we start Vision, we can see there is a timeline on the bottom of the window. Before we click on the preview, I want to show one very important setting that I intentionally omitted because it's more visible when it comes to animations: Temporal Anti-Aliasing. I will disable it for now and start the animation. Notice that all the edges are jagged, especially those on the facade panels. If we enable Temporal Anti-Aliasing and play the preview again, the animation is a lot smoother. This is because this setting enables a higher quality anti-aliasing method. Now we can stop the preview and find out how to save it. The export process is almost the same as saving a still image. We need to choose a folder and a name for the sequence. I will also change the resolution mode to From Project and dial back the resolution multiplier to 1 since we don't need it in this case. Then, make sure to check the Export Animation option. Also, if Temporal Anti-Aliasing is re-enabled, we can use the Frame Delay option. Increase the number to something like 30 up to 60 to ensure each animation frame is sampled enough. In my case, I'm using the animation as a preview, so I will leave it as it is. Now click Export and leave Vision to do the rest.